is just the start of the Big 12 and Power 5 talk to come. Listen to JJ and Alex Monday on your drive home. Afternoons from 3 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody. Final segment of the day on First and 12, KSL News Radio. Alex, Kirry, Mitch, Harper, thanks for being with us. Coming up in just a few minutes, you're going to get BYU football with head coach Kalani Sitake. It'll round off your Tuesday of football if you just heard Cougar Tracks right before this program. And then, Mitch, we've had 2 hours of lamenting Mike Gundy being gone at Oklahoma State. It's a real shame. We hardly knew ye. All right, so we're going to get into our picks for this week. Let's start this thing off. Let's get it going. Where do you want to begin things? And we'll start going back and forth. Let's go with some Friday night games. TCU at Arizona State. This could be a banger of a game. I'm going to go with TCU. I'm going to stay with the Horned Frogs. I kind of, this might be a spot where TCU falls. In the preseason, I did pick ASU to win this game, but I'm just impressed with TCU and how they can win in a variety of ways, and their defense is still prone to give up points, but I think they're a lot better than where they've been. I'm going to go with the Horned Frogs. I'm supposed to ride a hot hand here, and I keep dissing Arizona State and saying they're going to lose the games that they play, including last week. I thought they were going to go to Baylor and lose that game. They won it. I'm doing the same thing, though, and part of it is because I bought into TCU. This is part of my own personal pride of saying I think TCU is good enough to go to the Big 12 championship game, and I think that they've turned a corner. I also am going to pick TCU to win this one. Hopefully a barn burner shootout like we've seen the last game. I love getting the updates of scores, and it's like 41-35.
Yes.
42-41. And then somebody gets a 2-point extra converted. I start seeing these, and you start getting overtime notifications. That's what I want to see. I want to see that kind of back and forth.
I want every Big 12 game to have that.
I know.
Honestly, this league does provide that. I think that's what's awesome about this conference. And maybe we could get some craziness on, well, we're going to go into the Saturday slate. Cincinnati at Kansas. Who you got in this one in Lawrence?
I'm not dumb enough to think that Cincinnati could go into Lawrence and get the win. I'm going to go Kansas all the way. What about you, Mitch?
I'm going Cincinnati. I said earlier that we haven't had Cincinnati have a moment since we've been doing this show. It's year 3 for the Bearcats. This is their moment. They win on the road as an underdog. I'm going to go with Sorsby to get it done over Jalen Daniels. I'm going Cincinnati with the upset.
I don't hate the pick. I knew that was going to be your pick. That's why I set you up for the disc. And who knows in this conference? I don't even know how to guess anymore. UCF going to Kansas State. I think I'm with you. I think that I think that Kansas State is going to get right on this one. When I say get right, I just mean they're probably just going to get a win at home and just kind of get out and be like, okay, there's something to build on there. I just don't think UCF has the dogs yet. I think that they are improved maybe a little bit from last year. I actually don't know if that's the case either. They're right now they're undefeated. Fine. They beat North Carolina. North Carolina might be the worst team in the Power Four. Them, Stanford, I'd love to see that battle. Somebody tweeted out today, they should have Oklahoma State and North Carolina battle to see who should never play football again. Or no, it was UCLA. I said throw North Carolina in there. It's kind of the same vibe. Your pick on that one.
I'm going to go with K-State as well. I think that K-State's a spiritual winless team this year, so they desperately need a win. I think they get that done against UCF. Baylor at Oklahoma State. Does Oklahoma State get a bump at all after firing Mike Gundy?
They do get a bump of.
Are they competent? Do they have proof of concept that they can actually function like a team? Because they were terrible against Tulsa.
Yeah, not in this game. Baylor they're like, sorry. Again, I think what they're going to do is do this. Sorry, we have to use you guys as a stepping stone here. Sorry for your loss. We need to kick you in the teeth. It's nothing personal. We've got to get right. They have to get to 3-2 to be taken seriously at all. And an Oklahoma State team who's like, let's go out there and show them that we still love Coach. There's some of that. There's going to be some of that. I don't care. Those kids are going to be crying, tears coming out of their face masks. I don't care. They're going to get they're going to get beat up big time in Stillwater this weekend against Baylor. I apologize for that, but that's going to happen.
I think it's Baylor too, but I'll say they're probably more worried just asking because they're probably happy to see Gundy gone. They're probably just like, I'm still getting my paycheck, right? I'm still getting my rev share check. I'm going with Baylor.
He said it's a paid game, but he made it sound like we weren't getting paid. Is that true? It's like, no.
Utah at West Virginia. It's a rematch of Rich Rod when he was at Arizona and Witt at Utah.
They probably love each other.
Rich Rod and Witt. God bless the Mountaineers and God bless the Utes. Who you got?
I think Utah gets right after this one. I mean, I'd love to see what the availability is of Devin Dampier. Like,
oh, here we go.
I want to see if he's.
Wednesday at 8.
I do really want to see tomorrow night what that injury report looks like. If Whittingham's going to make another statement and a middle finger to the league and just tell Brett Yormark, here you go, every player listed as a probable, just to be able to avoid it. I think Utah's a way better football team. Like, in the end, you saw them get beat on Saturday. That defense is still elite. It took a fourth quarter crazy effort by that backup quarterback to get 24 points in the fourth quarter. The Utah defense is still really, really good. If they clean up some of those mistakes, they should be able to roll against West Virginia.
I think this is Utah wins this one, but what will make me pause a little bit is West Virginia's had a lot of sacks this year. They didn't have any success against Kansas. They got 0 sacks last week.
Yeah.
But
it's a tough week to try to do it because that offensive line now is hurt and offended by how they got treated this last week.
And that was the thing is that West Virginia, if they maybe had a little bit of success against Kansas, and Utah didn't get called out by their coach, the offensive line, I said maybe this could be a spot where it could be a little tricky, but I think Utah wins comfortably in this one. Arizona at Iowa State, number 14 Cyclones. I'm going with bear down Arizona Wildcats to pull off the upset. I'm a believer in Arizona's defense. I think they pull off the upset.
I don't know if I'm there yet, but I think we're going to be impressed by Arizona in an Iowa State win. I think Iowa State's going to win the game. It's going to be one where you go, and we talked about it being a defensive slugfest. I just think it's going to be a 3-point game because Arizona's going to be a better team than we thought that they were. I still think Iowa State pulls out the win at home there. Matt Campbell's going to get tested this year. I just don't think it's going to be totally against Arizona. Finally, BYU going to Colorado, going to Boulder for the first time since 1981, as you mentioned. And the Cougs are in the top 25. Do they stay there this week?
Yes, I think BYU wins. I think they take care of business and improve to 4-0. It's kind of crazy, Alex, to see this BYU program. I mean, you and I have followed them closely for years. They used to always be the stumble out of the gates program, 1-2, 1-3. Kalani's teams they're always getting off these 3-0.
Third or fourth year in a row now that they're 3-0 to start the season?
Third year in a row, they're 3-0. So they've had the ability of always getting off to strong starts, and 4-0 and 1-0 in Big 12 play would be a really nice step in the right direction with a true freshman quarterback. But I go with the Cougs.
I think BYU wins this game too. And interestingly enough, I think it's nice to see whatever the progression of Bear Bachmeier is going to be. I think A-Rod called a great second half. That allowed a lot of guys to get open. Carson Ryan becoming a nice safety blanket for him is awesome. Getting Chase Roberts worked back into almost 100 yards receiving. But LJ Martin, man, that guy's good. Get him 22 carries, get him 138 yards on the ground, and that will just take so much pressure off of the kid in the backfield there. And I think BYU wins at Colorado, and you got to think the defense too. I think they're going to show up and absolutely show out against Caden Salter with that start. All right, that does it for us this week. 1st and 12. Right here on KSL News Radio, Alex, Kirry, Mitch, Harper. Our producer is Gustavo Rodriguez. We appreciate all the effort that he makes every week as well. So we will be back again next week. Let's see what drama unfolds this weekend, Mitch. If we're talking about somebody being fired after the weekend, I don't think it's going to be that dramatic. But we do this every week. Download the podcast wherever fine podcasts are found. For Mitch, I'm Alex. We'll see you then, everybody.